Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. The state assembly results are on expected line. So let us go back to regular programming. I have with me today Karthik Gopinath joining us after a hiatus of a few months. He has been really busy promoting and growing his channel. Today we're going to talk about a very important topic, but let's first welcome our guest of the evening. Karthik, namaskaram and welcome to P Guru's channel.
Vanakkam, namaskaram, and happy to be on the show again after a really long hiatus. And thanks for inviting me.
And the pleasure is all ours, Karthik. So I want to set the context. This is not going to be a long talk here, so please tune in. You can listen to this and go back to watching assembly results. Nothing is changing there. This is what happened. DMK won big in the city elections, all the elections that took place, city, village, town, whatever you want to call it, metro. And then something interesting happened. Now, we're going to first set the context here by saying that the mayor that got nominated or, appointed by DMK, this person was elected on an scheduled caste seat, a seat that was reserved for scheduled caste. And turns out that she is a Christian. Now, remember, a scheduled caste person loses all her scheduled caste benefits if she converts to other religions. Now, this is where the sticking point is. So, to understand a little bit more what is happening, how they have been trying to camouflage this, how they are trying to whitewash all these things, we're going to share some slides with you. But more importantly, let's listen to Karthik. Karthik, take it away.
The flag bearers of affirmative action, social justice, reservation, and justice for the historically, socially, and educationally backward classes, the DMK, have come up with a trick, which is a very old one. Out here in Chennai, let me set the context straight for the viewers. Priya Rajan, who is supposed to be a young girl belonging to the scheduled caste community, won her ward elections from a seat reserved for the scheduled castes. That's all okay there, and we are happy that the historically jeopardized are given a chance, and that is the entire idea of social justice. But before saying that she's a Christian, I'll point out various evidences which point towards the inevitable. I'm not saying she's a Christian because it's very difficult to prove that a person is Christian when they carry a Hindu name. This is a very difficult thing to prove. But let us look at all the claims that have come in the social media. And even before going into those claims, first of all, you'll have to understand that after her victory in the indirect election, where DMK had nominated her to be the Chennai mayor, and she won the post pretty much unopposed. There was not much opposition because the entire Chennai corporation was occupied by the DMK people. Having said that, the first person she goes and meets is Yesra Sarvanam. Who is Yesra Sarvanam? Yesra Sarvanam is a person who's rapidly anti-Hindu. He's rapidly anti-Hindu, so much so that he openly states in a stage, the very person that is being shown on the stage, who's having his hands on his cheek, is a cheeky guy. So this guy says openly on the stage that the very name Hindu irritates him to the core. Also, he says that if anybody comes with the name Hindu, I'll punch him in the face and make him bleed. And this is the kind of person that they go and seek their blessings from. Also, after her nomination, there was a lot of hue and cry that, listen, DMK is the flag bearer of women empowerment, and they've also brought in youth into the politics. Let me set the context straight. Every youth who's been given a seat by the DMK in these local elections has a connect with the DMK. I mean, like, the dynastic politics continues even in the ward level. It used to be at the MP and MLA level. Right now, families belonging to the DMK who've been there, who've done stuff, who are close to the main family are given a chance here. So there's nothing new. It's not youth empowerment. It's not women empowerment. This particular person, Srimati Priya Rajan, her grandfather, Chengai Selvan, was a MLA. So it's also hinting towards dynastic politics. Now, getting back to the entire issue, this particular person, Priya Rajan, after being elected, we get to know a lot more about her. And even after getting elected, see, this is the way, under the garb of women empowerment, under the garb of social justice, people are used as pawns by powerful ministers. So this person goes out for a press meet, And what do you expect in a press meet? You want to know about the ideology of the young candidate. You want to know about the various schemes that she'll be implementing, her modus operandi, what will be her priorities. These are the things that you want to know from a victorious candidate. But instead, what happens is she's being tutored in a press interview by the HRNC minister, mind you, by the HRNC minister. And sources reveal that she was handpicked by the HRNC minister to be the Chennai mayor, and she's the person of HRNC minister. So she stands right behind her, and any question that is posted to her, he prompts to her, "We will work according to the plans of the CM," and she repeats it like a parrot. Okay, and after that, while leaving the press conference, this HRNC minister jocularly says that are these the questions you ask a little kid? So, Greater Corporation of Chennai, where 1.5 crore people reside in that entire jurisdiction of GCC, is being headed by a kid. Is that what you want to say? Is that the message that you want to pass on to the public? And she is being tutored. So this is the context in which the entire election has happened, and this is the way the DMK is treating the victorious candidate. This is one part. Also, to set things in perspective, the viewers abroad might not be aware of the kind of election that happened here. Recently, there was this. What happens when there are equal number of votes in a ward? They use lucky draw. So anybody whose name pops up will be the winner. You have 50 votes each. The person whose name appears in the lucky draw will be the winner. So an independent candidate had won against the DMK candidate, and she had videographed it. But it so happened that the other person, the DMK candidate, was declared winner by the election official. And then they went to the High Court. The High Court asked the official, "Why did you do this?" And his answer was very simple: "I was coerced to do this." This is there in all the papers. So this is the kind of election that has happened. And you can understand what kind of indirect election has happened. They've handpicked people, allegedly who are dummy candidates and who listen to people. So there is an added advantage in such a scenario. You don't have responsibility, but at the same time, you have the power because you operate the person. So this is the biggest allegation against all the selected mayors. So party stalwarts are not given a chance, and that's why there was a huge problem in the entire state in different constituencies, in different wards, where people have alleged that, see, I've been in DMK for the last 40 years, I've served the DMK, I've served the party for such a long time, but I'm not given a chance. So this is the background of the entire election, and now she's chosen the mayor. Then we started digging into the background of this person. So again, I'm telling you, it is very difficult to point out this person is a Christian because of the inherent loopholes present within the system. They carry a Hindu name, but they also have membership within a church. Having membership within a church indicates only one of the two things: either that you are a born Christian or you're a converted Christian. But the problem is, it is very difficult to get the details from the church, especially when the party in power is the candidate supporter. So let's go into the details. So there was this website called as UCA News. Okay, UCA News published an article saying that Dalit Christian woman is youngest mayor of India's Chennai city, which is supposed to be one of the biggest corporations in the country. So they use the word Dalit Christian woman. So then we get into the article, and then we understand that she's a member of the Christian community in one of those churches. Even before this happened, we could we managed to look into a few other things about her, where we saw this Facebook post from a guy by the name Santosh Prem Winfred. Santosh Prem Winfred. So we went into the profile of this person, and then we checked all the profile, all the Facebook posts were about the man upstairs, Jesus Christ, and that is totally understandable. But this particular post, where he openly declares that my family member becomes Chennai mayor, Miss Priya Rajan, family member, former DMK MLA Chengai Selvam, he is my uncle. You get the point? So there is close Christian connections within the family, which also points towards one thing. And then we stumble upon another Facebook post by a person by the name John Udaranan. Since it's written in Tamil, I'll go back and read it and then translate it to English for the convenience of the viewers. Here it is said that கிறிஸ்துவர்கள் ஆட்சி அதிகாரத்தில் வந்துள்ளதற்காக தேவனுக்கு நன்றி செலுத்துவோம். We will thank the God for bringing a Christian in power. தற்போதைய சென்னை மேயர் பிரியா கிறிஸ்துவர் ஓட்டேரி ECI church member. So he says the current Chennai mayor is a member of the Oteri ECI church. So every church maintains a ledger. So if you can get a hand on that ledger and try to find out, which they will definitely not divulge, which they will definitely not give up for obvious reasons, you can understand whether she's a member of that particular church or not. So this is the all these points towards one thing, that people who have converted, they don't want to reveal that they have converted, but at the same time they want to use all the benefits which is available for the scheduled caste within the Hindu religion. So any person who converts according to the law loses the benefit of reservation, and this is well known, and that is why a particular sect within Christianity has a trend. They do not change their name. They have the same name, and they do not change their religion. So everything is maintained the same, but their allegiance is towards another faith. This is a point that needs to be checked. So all I'm saying is, for Facebook posts, for insidious Twitter posts, the police becomes very active. The State Election Commission, which is already under scrutiny by the High Court for the kind of allegations that are upon them, and the officials openly stating that they are being coerced. So in this particular case, they have to be checked. The background check needs to be done, and there needs to be two things done by the legislature. One is an anti-conversion law, for which we've been battling for a long time, and the second thing is proper background check of scheduled caste candidates, so that the benefit goes to the real scheduled caste who belong to the Hindu faith. If this is not done, this trend will continue, and pseudos and cryptos might get into the system, thereby leading to cultural degradation and also silently becoming stooges of Western thoughts.
Absolutely. And see, the point I think both of us are trying to make is the real genuine scheduled caste candidate is missing out. So the reservations are created for these people because it is acknowledged that they did not get all the breaks that they deserved at an earlier time. All that is now down out the window. Then what is the point of giving reservations? So go ahead.
No, absolutely. So that is the whole point. The point of reservation is affirmative action to bring those people, give those people who were historically, subject to a lot of evils, a head start. And still, after that, they need to become equals with the other castes and other communities, thereby establishing social justice. So once they intend to move out by hook or crook, they might be coerced or they might be going out voluntarily. It is a choice they have taken. So now, if you still give benefits to the other religions, then it defeats the purpose of proselytization. It defeats the purpose of conversion. That it clearly shows that you can do this, you can have the cake and eat it too, the very title that you had chosen. This is going to be a huge problem for the Hindu population, because eventually everybody will be using this tactic in the book, and they will try to make use of the reservation. Recently, it happened in one of the High Court judgments. There was an observation made by the Honorable Justice that, listen, there was one member of the very same High Court I'm sitting who claimed the benefits of a scheduled caste, but during his, after his death, he was cremated according to Christian rituals, which points out to the inevitable. It points out to the obvious. It shows that people are having the same name of a Hindu name, they retain the name, but they follow another culture, they follow another faith, they become member of a church, and still the system is inefficient to track that.
This is what is wrong about this reservation system, and many people are asking, how do we fix this? Well, you fix this by being vigilant, and if somebody supplies you proof, you go and look it down. I mean, there will be, at some place, they would have gained or got some benefits for being what they are, that is by being a Christian. So even one instance, if we can prove it, that essentially violates and invalidates their SC status, and therefore after that person no longer will be the ward member. So he gets disqualified. then the mayor post gets disqualified. And more importantly, these kind of lies that are being peddled by DMK, these need to be brought to the front. 200 plus temples destroyed, but not a single church, not a single mosque sitting on illegal property touched. What sort of
I'm
social
not
justice?
sure of the numbers. I'm not sure of the numbers, but large number of temples have been destroyed. I can list at least 20 ever since DMK got into power. But 200 is probably an overstatement at this point. But historically, if you count the numbers, I'm sure it will add up to the same. Having said that, the Supreme Court in 2015 ruling has clearly stated that if you convert to another faith, if you cease to be a Hindu, then you stop getting the benefits of reservation that is available for the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. That is clearly mentioned by the Supreme Court. Also, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, who was the law minister then, had clearly stated that once you convert, your benefits of a SC are forsaken. You have given up the benefits of a scheduled caste that is available in the constitution. All that benefits goes away because this is only available for the Hindus. Despite making the position clear, both from the legislative standpoint and the judicial standpoint, this problem is very difficult to tackle because of the concept of crypto Christians, of which I'm sure you've spoken at length at different points in time.
Yeah, we have the same problem with Punjab Chief Minister. There's no problem saying that he's a Christian, but he wants the scheduled caste benefits. He's a Dalit. He wants to have those benefits, and it's the same problem. Like, he wants to have the cake and eat it too. Luckily, I think he's going to lose today. Why luckily? The people have seen
in both the seats.
Yeah, I mean, people have seen through these lies, and I think that's where things stand. But Karthik, one thing that has to be done, there has to be a bulletproof way to catch these things. And I'm not sure, nothing comes to my mind. I have to apply my mind before I come up with a solution. But certainly, these kinds of things have to be caught, and we have to make it mandatory that everybody has to cast their votes. 100%. 100% of those people who can cast votes must cast votes. This is something that India needs to really work towards, because only then you will know that the true voice of the people has been heard. There are some countries in Europe that mandate that everybody has to vote, and if you don't vote, you have to pay a fine. So anyway, go ahead, Karthik.
Yeah. Also, a lot of people have been asking me, if this case is so clear, if it's open and shut, why isn't the BJP taking it up? I think the BJP should not take it up at this juncture. Because, see, basically, there is already this propaganda going on that BJP is anti-minority, especially in Tamil Nadu. That is the very basis of their allegations against BJP in Tamil Nadu, that they are anti-minority and they are pro-Hindutva and they are only a Hindu party. It used to be Brahmin-dominated party, and ever since Annamalai took charge, it's going to be a Hindu party, and so on and so forth. So I don't think electorally it is wise for them to take it up. But people can, go on, use the PIL route to prove this. But for this, again, to prove it legally based on admissible evidence in the courts, it is going to take some time. And the courts need to be very liberal. And if the courts really are the flag bearers of the social justice, if they really work for the downtrodden, they should make it a point that such people, if they do exist, that such people who convert and still enjoy the benefits of reservation need to be dealt with strictly. I think the Kerala High Court had once dealt with this recently, where one Christian who claimed to be a scheduled caste was stripped of his post. So one High Court has done this. So there is a judicial precedent. But again, to prove it in the courts becomes all the more difficult. As long as you don't have photos of baptism, you don't have photos of marriage, you don't have photos of cremation, where all these rituals of Christian faith are being followed, and yet they claim benefits of reservation. So now they're getting smarter, and they're doing the crypto way, the proper crypto way. So courts need to step in, and PIL would be the route. I don't think BJP will take the risk of going to the courts for this. And going by precedents, we also understand that to prove electoral frauds, it takes a long time, and by then the tenure is also over. So I hope and pray that there is change, and after this 5 state elections, I'm sure BJP will be emboldened to take such steps across different states in the country, where this proselytization and conversion activities needs to be stopped. See, if there needs to be reformation, it has to be from within. If the same applies to other communities, like for Islam, they say that if there needs to be reformation, it has to happen from within. Why is the Hindu community not given that choice? So that question needs to be asked, and there needs to be a lot of enlightenment for the masses, especially the marginalized sections and the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, where I can openly say that the Hindu community, the dominant community, has not done as much as it could probably in order to keep them away from this the big net that is thrown upon them by the missionaries.
And viewers, if you go looking for the data that we have published here, some of it has been sanitized, meaning it has been taken out, and they are hoping that people won't notice. But then before we came online, we got all the data and it's all captured. So if somebody wants it, there you go.
So 2 days back, it was the Dalit Christian woman is the youngest mayor of India's Chennai city, and then it now becomes Dalit woman. So they thought that it was clever, but then they don't notice that these days people are very, very wary of what they are posting, and so they keep a track of what's happening with the post. So it becomes Dalit, from Dalit Christian woman, it becomes Dalit woman is youngest mayor of India's Chennai city. So my problem is, see, listen, under the garb of social justice, you do so much, and you tend to believe that people wouldn't notice. A proper background check will reveal a lot. A proper background check will reveal a lot. And if you dig deeper, I'm sure there'll be a lot of skeletons coming out of the closet. And this trend we've noticed in Andhra, we've noticed in Punjab, we've noticed it elsewhere. So this needs to stop if the benefits have to go to the really underprivileged and the deprived sections of the society.
Uman Chandi was the chief minister of Kerala for many terms. I think 2 terms, or probably more. Nobody had a problem with that. The thing is, you don't lie when you are, going to occupy one of the most significant positions. That is what is the problem here. This is deception, skullduggery. Anyway, thank you so much, Karthik, and we'll be back with more conversations with Karthik. Hopefully, we'll figure out a way to make sure that Karthik can carve out a little bit of time for us for sharing his thoughts on what's happening. And once again, thanks for joining. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to click on the bell button. Thank you, Karthik. Namaskar.
Thank you, Shri. See you soon. Bye-bye. Namaskar.